smoking, it's a revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution. It's being us versus the corrupt. Red dot, put a cross to your head. Let the Lord interrupt. Gun smoking, it's a revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution.
Hey.
What up? That intro never gets old.
Never
gets old, my guy.
Welcome to the Liberty Goons podcast, everybody. My name is Don Welch Music on all social media platforms. Over here is John from 2A Patriot Ranch, and you guys are watching the Liberty Goons podcast. Man,
Episode 15.
It's crazy, dude. 15. It feels like we started yesterday. I mean, we kind of did, but but it's moving good, man.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that joined our IG live a little bit ago. We had technical difficulties like we did the last time.
I think IG just hates us, bro. They're like, actually, we're gonna block all freedom of speech from you guys because you guys look like you're conservatives. So
yeah, they hate us.
Yeah, they definitely.
They hate us because they ain't us, brah.
Facts.
Don is going to start us off tonight, so take it away, big guy.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to talk to you guys. We do a monologue, in case you guys don't know. If this is the first time you're watching the show. Kind of do like a quick little monologue every single time we start off this podcast. So today, I kind of just wanted to talk to you guys about heightened emotions, which is probably something that we don't really talk about a whole lot on here. But man, it just watching social media has been so crazy here lately. Everything from, Biden dropping out, to before that, Trump getting shot, seeing the swings in how much people are all of a sudden Trump, and then all of a sudden, we don't even have somebody that gets voted in, and now we have Kamala Harris, and then how the media tries to like play that off as like, oh, this is the golden child. This is somebody so great. And, it's really wild to me because not only are they doing that, that's fantastic, fine, whatever. I think Republicans should do that. Democrats should do that, whatever. They should definitely want their person to win and, hype them up. I mean, that's their job. But I think the biggest issue that we have is when you're messing with people's emotions and you're spreading propaganda. I think that's where the real problem lies. I mean, everything from, this is how crazy it is. And we talked about this on the podcast. The DNC, I think that there was 25 people that actually had abortions. And there was people that purposely, from what I was reading, purposely got pregnant because they were told that at the DNC that they could have an abortion. So these are people that are willingly going out and killing their children because they have Trump derangement in it. It's crazy to me. Trump, just like me and John, like I don't really believe in abortions either, but I do believe in the special exceptions, but I'm not even going to really get on that part to this. It's just the simple fact of that's how crazy things have gotten, is that somebody would actually get pregnant just to go have an abortion just because they have, Trump derangement. It's fucking wild. We've been seeing all types of crazy things. Terrorists enter the country. We have all this illegal crime, kids, getting the R word because I can't say it on here. Just wild, ridiculous stuff. And then the Democrats are trying to make excuses for it. I just saw yesterday a little girl get beat up by, two black dudes because the chick was wearing a Trump shirt. I mean, there are so many heightened emotions right now, and it's all spread due to crazy amounts of propaganda that people see on things like TikTok, Instagram. It's wild. And you will never see that come from conservatives. And I'll tell you the reason why is because all conservatives are extremely shadow banned and they don't want you to ever see any conservative news. So the fact that you've made it to Liberty Goons podcast is amazing by itself. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Look, the world's crazy. There's lots of inflation right now. In 2020, we had the BLM riots, we had Antifa riots. I'm telling you now, if this happens in 2024, people are not the same. And you try to mess with, like the song goes, try that in my small town, bro. Try that anywhere now. You mess with the wrong people, somebody that can't pay their rent, and you try to go after them or try to mess up, their car or something like that driving down the road. People are not going to act the same anymore. People are
Yep.
bad. So all that propaganda that's you've been getting spewed to, there's people that carry things on them that have checks and balances. So I'd be very, very wise the next, until at least November, December, because you keep trying to play with the bull, you're going to get the horn. So that's just kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I know it kind of went all over the place, but look, even if you're a Republican, avoid the heightened emotions. Avoid it. Let them be that retard that does that. But always protect yourself. And if somebody messes with you,
Mess back.
Be willing to break them down. So protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. Fight fire with fire.
Yep.
But don't bring the smoke if you don't want the fire.
Yep. Exactly.
Man, in the news. So Tim Walz's brother, it comes out that he is very much opposed to Tim Walz balls. So much so that he said, I am 100% opposed to all of his ideology. All of his ideology. Direct quote. And he said, the stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future.
There you go.
That's his brother. My mom and I were discussing this earlier, and I was like, man, I hope that my siblings would probably just not say anything, even if they weren't super supportive of whatever my platform was. I don't think that I'm so radical that my siblings would want to come out and, come out against me. So how bad do you have to be?
Well, it's because he is a proclaimed socialist. He's spent, tons of time in China. We don't know what his true ties are there. We know that he spent his honeymoon. He had his wedding over there. He's had tons of kids that he's taken from America into China to do studies and everything else. He's definitely tied in with the Chinese government, and anybody that's claiming to be a socialist, bro, I wouldn't trust either. And if it was my brother saying that, I'd probably say the exact same thing.
Did you see Tucker Carlson on Megyn Kelly?
No.
Where he roundabout insinuated that Tim Walz balls is a, how do we put it, creepy man in the diddling type of way.
Well, I mean, you saw the way that he, treated his special needs kid. I thought that was kind of weird. And then the simple fact that you're putting tampons in boys' bathrooms, you're all
gender reaffirming surgeries.
Yeah, for children. Dude, that is just sick stuff. Like, I don't care if you're a Democrat, like, and I'll just say that I was speaking to somebody that was a Democrat that's close to me today. Not like they're a friend, but they're close in some form or fashion. And I said, like, do you agree with that? No. Okay, give me a policy that you agree with. I don't have one. Okay, I just don't like Trump. And that's the problem. That right there is the problem.
Yep.
And if you're going to go off of that just because, like, you've been told not to like somebody, so all of a sudden you just don't like them, and then yet you're not going to agree with one policy that they're putting out, but you're still going to vote for them, dude, stay the fuck home. You're destruction to America. You're the reason why America's failing.
Yep. Speaking of Walls balls, he sat like a little bitch right next to Kamala Harris during her first televised interview on CNN with Dana Bash, which was just a wild interview. I don't think wild for the rest. Well, here's the only thing I thought was that I did not expect. Her handlers had her holding in that cackle. You could see it was like eating at her insides not to do the Kamala
She was looking down like this the whole time.
Yeah.
She was like literally looking down the whole time and then trying to look down. And look, she backpedaled on every single thing that she said. And then she turned around and said, oh, actually, I've never changed my views. Okay.
She's full of shit.
So now you said that you want the wall. Before, you said that you wanted wide open borders. And this is what was so awesome about Trump. Trump put out every single thing that she said during that interview that she said that she's never changed her mind on. Direct quotes, even her signing bills where she said she never did that. And it's like, okay, well, you're saying one thing, but guess what? We have the video footage. We have the fucking receipts.
Yeah. She said she didn't consider illegal immigrants to be breaking the law, and then comes out and says, I want to prosecute anybody that comes across the border illegally. Like, yeah. This lady is, and then
full of shit.
Her and climate change.
She used Trump's, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but she actually used Trump's wall.
Yeah.
For one of her commercials.
Mm-hmm. The climate change comment where she said we need to be put deadlines according to time. Like, what other fucking deadlines are you putting in space deadlines? Like
the word salad that comes out, even during that, the word salad was so crazy.
So bad. So I'm not the biggest Ben Shapiro guy. Like, I'm neither here nor there about Ben. Sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't. But he did like a point-by-point breakdown on YouTube this week of that interview. And it got so bad that at like one point he's like, you know what? I can't even watch this shit anymore. Like, it's just that bad. Like, if you're a Democrat and you watched that and you went, that's my girl, there's something wrong in your fucking head. Like,
delusional.
It's delusional. And the whole setting, well, first of all, it's what's her name? Dana Bash. She, like, I mean, good pick for the Dems. I will give her a little bit of credit. At some point, she did push back a good bit.
Compared to JD Vance, didn't push back at all.
No. I'm not saying she was good. I'm saying this was a setup. But
oh yeah, of course.
She did push back a little bit on Bidenomics. She asked the question that we all want to hear. You know, the problem with Dana Bash is that, you know, any other investigative journalist would have continued to push. So, like, she would ask the question and then the follow-up question, but then she just let it go. Like, she took Kamala's answers for what they were when she could have drilled down. And it was in, like, a creepy, like, WeWork office setting. Like, it was, like, this weird conference table. And then you've got little bitch Tim Walzball sitting beside. Like, I don't know. It just wasn't a good look.
Could you imagine if Donald Trump's first interview, he would have walked out with JD Vance to do an interview with JD Vance, like his very first, or with Mike Pence when he ran, the CNN would have ripped him apart. It is so bad. They are so afraid of what she's going to say. They have to bring somebody else with her. And you could see her looking up and then looking down, looking at her handlers on what to say. Like, this is a pony show, bro. This is a pony show.
And the good thing is that, from what I saw today, it's hurting her in the polls. You know, right now in Pennsylvania, Trump has a 1-point lead. In Minnesota, her lead's been cut in half, which is, I mean, obviously picking Tim Walzball's not a good idea. Not picking Josh Shapiro, probably a bad idea for her. Actually, you know what? Just a side note here. I know this sounds a little personal because I'm moving there, but Pennsylvania is a big state this year for us.
Massive. I think it is the state.
So not only is it a battleground state between Kamala and Trump, but it's a battleground state from Bob Casey Jr. and David McCormick for that Senate seat.
Mhm.
Obviously, Bob Casey, former governor of the state of Pennsylvania, it's his son, is the sitting senator from there and is extreme left wing, extreme anti-constitution, extreme anti-2A. And David McCormick is almost the exact opposite. I won't call him, like, if I was grading him, I wouldn't give him an A on like 2A legislation, but I'd give him like a B plus, you know.
Yeah.
That's a battleground state that we have to win across the board. And right now, both races are pretty much neck and neck. Trump has a slight lead. Casey and McCormick are like tied up. That's a big state, and thank God. I just don't. I don't think this interview did the damage that it should have done, but I don't think it helped at all. I don't think it helped her at all.
That's the thing. They're going to even if, no matter how shitty her interview is, they're going to turn right around and say that it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, but I think the thing about interviews that's great is and this is only if you watch them, not the actual reporting of them, obviously, but if you watch them, it tells a different story, you know?
True.
Speaking of, I don't have this on our list, but since we're talking about interviews, Donald Trump sat down with Sean Ryan this past week, dropped on, what was that, Monday? And you and I were texting back and forth about it because I was listening to it in the car on the way up to the ranch, and I had opinion that kind of differed from maybe
Mine.
some other people. Not even necessarily yours, because you, at the time, you weren't even really listening to it.
Yeah, I mean, I was at work and I was just kind of had an earbud in while I was working. So
yeah, and I actually thought it was not a good interview, and not from Sean Ryan's side. I understand. You and I both talked about, Sean Ryan. It's really hard to step in and stop the leader of the free world, basically, from talking. But I thought that Trump got really off track with a lot of things. Nothing that he said was wrong or crazy or anything like that. But I think he missed an opportunity to really reach out to an audience of people that can really get behind him. People like me, that watch Sean Ryan. I mean, Sean Ryan, I think, is like the number 2 or 3 podcast now behind Joe Rogan. You're talking about a huge influence of people.
So, I mean, it's already got millions and millions of views. But okay, I 100% agree with you. But I will say this: if you go down that comment list,
It was positive.
I didn't see any bad comments on that. Like,
but that's kind of that's what I'm getting at, though. Like, you have to watch the whole thing, and you have to watch it from a clean lens as to what is the goal. What is the determination? You and I have talked about on this podcast before that the goal for Trump right now should not be appeasing his base.
true.
That should not be the goal. That's why he has to stop all the big rallies, all that kind of stuff. Not stop them, but not do them as much, and do more of these podcasts. And I don't think that interview touched anybody but the base because of how wildly off center it was. And I believe that if you want to attract the centrists, if you want to attract the people in the middle, because the left, you're not speaking to the left, but you're speaking to the people in the middle. And the people in the middle want substance, and they want substance to some great questions that were asked by Sean Ryan. I give him huge props for the things that he was trying to drill down on, because it was things that he knows of. Afghanistan withdrawal, message to veterans, there were some really key points in there that Trump got way off topic on. And I know he has good answers for them because I've heard him talk about them before. But if you're going to try to reach the middle of the road, you gotta speak to that.
So I here's what I think. I think he got asked those questions, and I think he was taking it from a standpoint of, I have an audience. I have an audience that may have never heard me have these conversations before. So he wanted to like lay it fully out. And I think this is actually a mistake from Trump. So he wanted to lay out all the background history. And this is what we're talking about by getting off point. And we know, me and John do this shit all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to lay down every last piece of it. And it just took way too long to get to the final answer. But that's so it's kind of hard for me because I agree with you, but I also think like him being who he is, he wants to make sure that you understand every single individual piece. But I think it would have been better too. I agree with you. I think it would have been better if he just answered the question. He didn't have to give all the background details to it. He could have just answered the question, let Sean ask more questions.
Yes, 100%. You are correct there. Like, because I would have loved to have seen Sean's question list, because I guarantee you it wasn't the 4 or 5 questions that he asked. There's no way.
And and Trump didn't answer any questions wrong either.
No, absolutely not.
So we're not saying that at all. Like we both
agree with everything he said.
Everything he said. We're just stating in that platform, it should have been like this instead of let me lay out every single thing that's ever happened with this specific topic and then get to the answer, because we live in a world of 30 seconds. Yep. And you have to answer questions. It's like TikTok videos, bro. Like if the video lasts more than 30 seconds, nobody's watching that shit. They're going to the next one.
Well, and I'm a prime example because I was listening for comprehension, because you know how stoked I was to listen to that interview.
Yeah, me too.
And so I was listening intent. I had nothing else to do. I was in a car, so I wasn't drifting off. Like I was intently listening to it, and I found myself lost by the time he ended his answer. I'm like, what was the question again? Because we were like so far from that. And then the one that I was most disappointed about was when Sean said, you know, he got into the Trump and the veterans kind of issue and saying the bad things or whatever. And then his question was, you know, do you have anything you want to say to veterans specifically? And even that one got like way lost. And I thought that was a great opportunity for him to speak to some of the disenfranchised veterans out there. And I know Trump is a veteran supporter, and I'm not trying to dog him for anything that the media has put on him at all. But I thought that was an opportunity for him to really look at Sean, a veteran, and say, I want to let our veterans know that I support them, I am with them, and I will do everything in my power when elected and put into office again to clean up the VA, to clean up the system, to take down this bullshit, taking your guns away stuff. You know, the whole, like, you could have nailed it. Topic, top, boom, 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 boom.
I agree with you. Now, part of that he did say it, but I agree with you. It took him way too long to say it, because what he did is he got off on he kind of got off on a tangent of, this is how bad Democrats are and why they don't care about you.
Yep.
But me, I do. And that took like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of him talking. And he's like, but this is what I'm doing, and this is why I care about you. But what he should have just said is, this is why I care about you, and this is what I'm going to do for you. Right. Instead, he wanted to show you how bad Democrats were and then show you how good he was. And he just needed it. It just needed to be rifled off. That's what it needed to be. And I agree. And I do agree with John on this topic. Like, there's no doubt about that.
And what sucks is that if it had been a normal Sean Ryan interview, it would have been okay, because those things go 2-3 hours, you know? This was only like an hour and 15 minutes. And I say only an hour and 15 minutes, but it was a much shortened version.
That's a short podcast for Sean Ryan.
Exactly.
Dude, sometimes he has like 3-hour podcasts, and then there's a part 2.
And a part 2, yeah.
Yeah. So, I will say this. I'm not putting anything off on Sean Ryan. I truly think that Sean Ryan was so genuinely interested in what he had to say.
Yes.
That he didn't really stop Trump from talking, because he's like, oh, I'm interested in what you're saying. So it became a point of, instead of I'm the interviewer, now I'm
the listener.
I'm the listener, because I'm recepting what you're saying, and I want to know what you have to say. So do I think it was a bad podcast? No. Do I think that could have been better? Yes. But, you know.
20 times better than Kamala's.
Yeah. That doesn't take much. But I think that's the problem, though. Their bar is so low and our bar is so high. And
True.
that's the problem. That's
True.
the problem. Like, we have to be perfect 100% of the time. Speaking of that, obviously, um,
Trump and veterans.
Trump and veterans. So Trump recently just left, did the whole thing in Arlington for the 13 soldiers lost in Afghanistan. Um, and man, I thought what he did was such a beautiful thing. And then next thing I know, I think 2 days later, which is crazy to me because when you watch Kamala, they didn't even give a shit about any of those dead soldiers. Not one fuck given about them. And then they came and was like, oh, well, he's not even supposed to be on that land. He's not even supposed to be on that piece of property. He's not allowed to do that, blah, 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 blah. And instead of being like, well, then where was Kamala? Why wasn't Kamala there, showing her gratitude for these 13 soldiers? Instead, they try to flip it. And it was just so poor and taste from the freaking left, in my opinion.
And then Kamala comes out and just blasts him, calling it a campaign, thing, and saying that it was disrespectful and all this kind of stuff. And first of all, you should have kept your mouth shut because, like you said, she didn't show up.
She didn't show up, and not to mention, Trump put out these 13 people wanted Trump there. They asked him to be there.
He didn't do this as a campaign thing.
He
got asked to come there.
Yes, he got asked to come there.
And so for Kamala to come out and bash him, it's such a bad look because you said you were the last person out of the room on the Afghanistan withdrawal thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
you agreed with it. And you agreed with the actions that were taken. So you're agreeing with the actions of 13 dead soldiers is what you're telling us.
Yep. And so I love the fact that these 13 families, a portion of these 13 families today, have come out and basically said, fuck you, Kamala. We asked him to be there.
Yep.
You don't support us. You have never called us. You or Joe Biden.
They've never even talked to those families.
Donald Trump has taken us in. He has been a rock for us, I believe a couple of them said.
Yep.
I think we're up to 5 families now that have come out.
So I see more than that now.
That's just since you and I got on here. My mom's been Mama 2A Patriot Ranch has been sending them all to me. And that just goes to show you that she is so far off base on what the American people feel and believe that she can't be president. She cannot be president.
I agree. And dude, if she is president, there goes America. I think America's lost. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, and speaking of America going, it's not just Kamala, it's not just Joe Biden. It's the leftist movement across this country that's leading us down a path. Take a look at Colorado.
Yep.
So these Venezuelan gangs have taken over entire apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado, are storming into people's apartments on video. Meanwhile, the Colorado governor is saying, "Oh, don't watch that. That's not a thing."
No, I just saw him today said that when they try to remove them, they said, "Well, they have squatter rights now."
Yeah, and
squatter
his solution.
rights.
Did you hear what his solution was? They're gonna just tear the building down. Not like the problem was the actual Venezuelan gangs, but the problem was the apartment complex itself.
Yeah, not the problem that were these gang members got, machine guns from the cartel and decided to walk up in and kick people out of their apartments and then take over entire apartment complexes. But yeah, it's the apartment building's fault. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. It's so wild.
It's these leftist ideologies, it's these leftist opinions and politicians, and it's the Great California Exit as well. So Californians just totally fucked up that state, right? So a lot of them have left because of how bad they made it there, how bad their votes made it there.
Yep.
I was talking to John with an H earlier tonight, and who lives in Colorado, obviously, and he was talking about how since all the Californians have moved into Colorado, how bad it's gotten. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's exactly right, because it's these hardcore left ideologies that the people that left, they still have those ideologies. They're still going to vote that way because they don't think they're to blame.
No, they don't.
They don't understand that their votes are the things that caused this shit to happen.
Yeah, because they leave and because of all the bullshit, and then they vote in the exact same thing, and then it happens where they move, and eventually they're just going to run out of places to fucking go to.
Right. And then
You
we've
know?
got each individual state just picking and choosing what parts of the Constitution that we're going to uphold. And it's prime example. So like my job is based in New Jersey, but I'm moving to Pennsylvania because I pretty much am not allowed in the state of New Jersey with the collection of guns I have, because I somehow lose my Second Amendment rights when I cross the state line from Pennsylvania into New Jersey.
Yeah. And then even worse than that, I don't know if you saw this, it's talking about constitutional rights, where Kamala was asked about social media, and she said that she believed that we shouldn't be able to have freedom of speech on social media, basically telling you, yeah, if it's our ideologies, it should be allowed. If it's conservative or libertarian ideologies, we should ban it. And that's exactly what England's doing right now. The
It's
exact
exactly
same
what
thing.
they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they have let in a bunch of jihadists into England. They have raped, murdered young girls in that country, that have taken over full towns, and yet if you say anything bad about that, the prime minister has put basically a hit on you, and you will be arrested and thrown in jail. And it's gotten so crazy where they're saying that they're going to arrest Americans. And when you have Kamala Harris saying, yeah, I don't think that those things should be allowed on social media, she's basically saying, yeah, we're going to red coat you and just hand you right over to the authorities.
Well, and it's the same thing that you were talking about in this country about the First and the Second Amendment. So what are the two things that they don't have in the UK now? Obviously, they don't have freedom of speech, and they can't take back their freedom of speech because guess what? They don't have the freedom to carry a weapon.
Yep. Facts.
Did you see, speaking of that, did you see Colin Noir on YouTube this week?
With the
defending,
two girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one was British.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what I was talking about with Californians going to Colorado and bringing their ideology with them. We've got people from the UK coming over here with their ideologies, and this girl from the UK was arguing with Colion about
How they
us
should
having
abolish.
guns.
Because they said, well, we need to have some type of gun control, and then he goes, well, what happens is if you have some type of gun control, they keep pushing, which is it's exactly what's been going on for years and years and years since the NFA. And then she goes, well, then what's wrong with taking all the guns? And he was like, yep, see, that's the point.
That's it.
That's their whole objective, is to take away all your guns, because dictators don't want to have a fight. Dictators want to dictate. And if you have a weapon to be able to protect yourself, well, guess what? They're not going to be so likely to just, come and try to step on your toes anymore.
Yep.
And however, if they don't have guns, it's a real fucking easy job.
Yep. And dictators play the game smart, right? These socialists and these communists, they play the game smart. They know that they can't come out, well, they can, but they always get discarded. You can't come out right away and go to the extreme, right? You can't just come out and say immediately, I'm going to take all the guns, or I'm going to ban all this, or I'm going to do all this. It's a slow and steady process that's been happening in this country for the last 40 years of progressive movement. And I got to tell you, the conservatives in this country, the Republican Party, is partly to blame, because everybody said, oh, it's just this little thing. Okay, we'll just give them this because it's a little win for them. And then slowly but surely, your rights erode to the point now where they can go to the extreme. And guess what? The extreme is not that big of a jump from where we're currently at. So if they say we want to take all the guns, well, it's not that big of a jump from some of the states where you can't have more than 10 rounds or this gun or that gun.
Can't have ARs.
Right. It's a slow erosion of our God-given rights to protect ourselves and say the things that we want to say. And guess what? If you want to end up like the UK, you want to end up like the Middle East, you want to end up like China, you want to end up like Russia, that is 100% the road that we're going down right now with this slow erosion of our rights. And if we continue to allow politicians that are on our side of the aisle to allow these little nibbles
Yep.
to the left, It's going to all be gone. That
Yep.
needs to stop right here in 2024. No more nibbles, no more negotiation, no more negotiation on the debt ceiling, no more negotiation on guns, repeal gun legislation, repeal regulations for businesses. It's all has to go away. I
Yep.
am at a zero tolerance level for it all.
Yep. I agree 100%. Yeah. I mean, the more you nibble away, the easier it gets. I mean, you said it best. And you and I talked about this too on the beginning of the podcast here. We're talking about, these heightened emotions, and this is what they've done. They've told you that guns are the problem, guns are the problem, guns are the problem, and you see it every single day on social media with which actual propaganda information because it's all fake. It's not real. These numbers are not real. The fact is that 65% of all shootings in America are self deletions. Okay, so that alone, so really, there's only about 12,000, and out of those 12,000, it's about 80% comes from gang violence. Where guess what? You can't even own a gun in those cities, anyways.
Yep.
So it has nothing to do with that. The most safest city in all of America has the most guns in America per household.
Mhm.
So
What you just said there, it makes so it makes so much sense. Like it's if you notice now, and this is where the nibbling part comes in, when was the last time that you heard Kamala or Joe or Barack or Nancy talk about statistics when it comes to gun violence anymore? They don't have to, because they laid so many seeds to try to convince you early on that gun violence was the problem with these false statistics, that now they have you ingrained to believe that it is the problem. They don't even need to tell you the statistics anymore. They just come out and say guns are the problem.
Yep, that's it.
Out of the 193 countries in the world, the U.S. is like third or fourth in gun violence. Like, bad, obviously, right? Bad. If you take away Chicago, Baltimore, Houston, L.A., and I believe like Detroit, we're 189th.
Yeah.
Those are all blue cities
Yep.
with some of the toughest gun laws in the country.
And all Democrats running everything from the legislator all the way up to the governor, to every congressman, every senator, mayors,
city councils,
all Democrats.
Yep.
All
And
Democrats.
we would be 189th in gun violence if we didn't have the problems in those major cities. Now, replace those governors with Republican governors. Replace those mayors with Republican mayors. Replace those city council people with Republican city council people. I guarantee you the problem goes away.
Yeah, quick.
Real quick.
I bet you see it drop so dramatically within 4 years. Like, you'll be extremely shocked. Extremely shocked.
I say we just deport them all to Venezuela, like Venezuela's doing to us.
I agree.
Here you 100%. Go. You can just have all of our problem children. See how you like that.
Yep. Man, what's up with the next one? What do we got? It's your favorite time?
Yes, it is. It's time for trigger warning. Don has absolutely no idea what we're talking about, because on our set list tonight, I just wrote Labor Day.
Yeah, I saw that.
He has no idea.
What are we talking about?
This is a good one. So Labor Day 2024, this weekend. Yeah. Most families and friends, except for Don and I, are getting together around barbecues, and same thing as Memorial Day and July 4th. They're great holidays for spending time with family and friends. The problem is, in September of 2024, not many families can afford to do that, because in comparison to 2021 and 2020, we're going to go off of January 2021 because that's when Trump left office.
Mm-hmm.
The price of the fuel to have your cookout, firewood, propane, kerosene, all those types of things, is up 16%. the price of all of your staples, we're talking your hamburgers, your hot dogs, your chicken breasts, up 26% from 21 to 24. Whole chicken prices up 27%. Rolls, buns, all your bread products up 28%. Your beer that you like to sling back, except for Bud Light, up 16%. And if you're like Don and I, that have family that's quite a ways away, and you have to drive to these parties and to see your family and friends, gas in January of 2021 was $2.25. Across the country right now, the average gas price is $3.35. It's $1.10 increase, what's that equate to? About a 33% increase in the cost of gas over the course of 3.5 years.
And we've seen gas hikes go all the way up to almost $5 a gallon.
Right. That we're just talking about where it's at right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to spend Labor Day with your family and friends, it's going to cost you on average 25 to 30% more for everything. And that just about prices the lower middle class and lower class out of being able to participate in a holiday that is one of the most celebrated in our country.
Yep.
Because even before, like, it was always an expense for families, right? Like, if you want to get together on the holidays with your family, it's never been quote unquote easy, right?
No.
Like, there's always some expense to it. That's why we do cookouts, because it tends to be a little cheaper, right? You grill up your own hamburgers and you make some potato salad. You do all this stuff. You buy
everybody joins in.
Yeah, makes it a little bit cheaper.
Yep.
But it's 30% less cheap now. And I mean, think about that on a scale of, if it was going to cost you $1,000, it's going to cost you $1,300 now to have your Labor Day event.
Fucking crazy, man.
That's insane.
It's insane.
That's insane. And we have Kamala out there talking about how
great Bidenomics are.
Bidenomics is amazing. And that we've stemmed inflation. All economists agree that inflation over 2% is not good, right? So just because you've stabilized inflation at 3% is not good. That's still a percentage point above where we're supposed to be at. And it doesn't count in those times where we were at 3.5%, 4.5%.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it yesterday. So everybody keeps saying, well, inflation's going down. Well, yeah, because you're looking from 2023 to 2024. So yeah, it's about 3%, right? I think that's what I saw. It's at 3%. However, if you go from 2024 to 2020, whenever Trump was president, you're looking
30% higher prices.
Well, not even if you're talking about all prices, not even just for food, you're talking about 38%. I think people forget that the price of lumber at one point in time during this administration was $125 for a piece of plywood. Okay, we talk about it all the time on here. The interest rates at 9%. That means, dude, if you bought a $500,000 home, which is I don't even know if you know this. You know the average price for a home right now in America? $465,000 is the average price for a home in America.
I live in Miami, so that doesn't surprise me.
Okay, but you're from a small town in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
our median home price is $265 though in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but even at that, think about this. Whenever I was growing up, whenever you were growing up, even underneath Trump, dude, a house that cost you $200,000 underneath Trump now costs you $400,000. It is literally like 50% higher than what it was. That's no joke about that. That's absolute facts. All over San Antonio, the average median household has got, well, not 50%. Let me before anybody fact checks me on here, it's 48.2%. That's crazy.
We can round up. It's okay. We can round up.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'll give you this example, Don. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I moved to Florida about 3 years ago now, I was going to buy a house. and I was looking at a house in Fort Lauderdale, and it was going to be, I believe it was listed for 410. I offered 410. They declined my offer, and I got like really mad about it and said like, fuck you guys, because like you asked, I gave you your full asking price and you said no. Like what are you talking about? Anyway, obviously I know how the game works, but I was just being a little pissant about it. And that house just sold again like a week ago for $550,000. It is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house built in 1950 on a semi-decent street in inland Fort Lauderdale.
That's crazy, bro.
Like insane.
That is
insane.
It's nuts, man. I just don't see how people can survive, and I keep saying this, and I mean I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. Another 4 years of this. Imagine this.
What are we going to talk about in 2028 when we're still doing our podcast?
Bro, we won't even have a podcast because we won't even be
We'll
able
be censored.
We won't even be able to afford electricity, bro. We'll be lucky if we get fucking AC kicked on, bro.
We'll have all of our studio lights will be off. We'll just be sitting here in the dark doing a podcast.
Dude, my little baby Magnus is I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna have all types of fucking issues here. No, dude, it's crazy. If we go up, let's just say the low end, okay, 30% more for food. If we go up another 30% in 4 years,
well, the incomes aren't going to go up that much.
Well, they haven't. That's the thing.
Well, they're not going to.
And they're not going to. They haven't, and they're not going to. That literally kills all of the middle class. Every last person that is middle class, you are done. If you go into
2028 with the current administration's ideologies, and you make less than $100,000, you will be living below the poverty line.
Yes,
which is insane.
Oh, back in the day, I remember, dude, if you made like 75,000, you were fucking rich. You were balling.
Yep.
Balling. And it wasn't
the first time I made that.
It was not that long ago. No. It was not that long ago.
I remember the first job I got that I made that much money, and I felt like I was on top of the world.
Yes, dude.
If I made that right now, I would not be able to afford living where I live.
Yeah, it would be impossible. Dude, I mean, the average rent prices right now in San Antonio are like $1,900 for like a 1-bedroom apartment, bro.
Which is fantastic compared to the 1-bedroom apartment I live in right now that costs me $3,000 a month.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the average income per person here is $40,000.
Right, much higher here, but
so think about how is that? How I don't me and my beautiful woman, we talk about this all the time. How is anybody affording?
You have to have roommates.
Place to live.
You have to have roommates. You have to live with family. You literally have to cut back on all of your other stuff. You end up taking public transportation. You can't have nights out. You can't take a vacation. And what kind of life is that? What kind of life is that?
It's pure communism is what it is. It's pure communism, bro.
To the point of this trigger warning, you can't even spend a Labor Day picnic with your family and friends.
Bro, I'm going to say this. So I went and toured Spain, about, I guess this has probably been 5 years ago now, which is crazy because it feels like it was yesterday. When I was there, you had grown men, okay, in a 1-bedroom apartment, and there's 4 people living in every single apartment in a 1-bedroom apartment in order to be able to survive. That is a socialist country, okay? And they actually do quite a bit better than other socialist countries. If a 30% increase from today to 2028, we'll be worse off than Spain. Way worse. So, bro, we're headed towards real dark times if people don't fucking wake up.
Wake up, people. If you enjoy spending time with your family and friends, and you enjoy taking vacations, if you ever want to see the part of the country I live in right now, you want to head down to the Keys, you want to go to the Everglades, you want to explore national parks, you want to do any of that stuff, continuing down the road of these leftist policies and ideologies is going to leave you ass out. You are not going to be able to do that. You are not going to be able to have cool Christmas presents under the tree for your family.
Right. If you even want to be able to afford to get to work, that's
Yep.
that's where that puts you at. You're not even going to be able to afford the gas and food. For fuck a vacation. You're not even going to be able to feed your family at
And
that point.
we're not fear mongering here, guys. And I know we're going to get this. That's what
just
people always say about us is that we're radicals and we're fear mongering and shit. We're speaking facts, guys. I listed off factual data of how much prices have gone up since 2021. That's not a
Yes.
lie. If you extrapolate that out over another 4 years, because Kamala thinks that Bidenomics worked, so that means
60% for food.
yeah, that means we're not going to change economic policies at all. If she thinks that this works, that's what she's telling you. Then how is it going to get any better?
Yeah. 60 that would be a 60% increase on food. People are like the middle class is already dying. 60% increase in 8 years, bro, is like it's unattainable. Like you can't survive on that. The average person cannot survive with that.
No, I mean, and you can just see it in your everyday life. Like, you go to any restaurant now, you can't find like a quality burger for under $20.
It's crazy, bro. Crazy.
Like, how much were those
You
burgers
can't
that we
even-
even ate in Knoxville?
Bro,
Those
you
are like
can't-
$20 a piece.
Yes, you can't even go to McDonald's for under $10. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was in college, okay, and we used to get 50 chicken nuggets, bro. 50 chicken nuggets for $5 fucking dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that was living in my apartment would chow down on that. Okay, we were poor, obviously, but like
I feel you. I was paid by the U.S. government at that age, and I was eating ramen noodles. So,
but I'm just saying, dude. I mean, it was the times that we live in now. Like, I couldn't imagine being a college kid and being a parent of a college kid right now.
no,
Forget
could you
about it.
imagine trying to afford that?
No, it'd be impossible. I
Yeah,
can't even pay off my student loans now,
we're gonna have to do a GoFundMe for little Magnus.
bro. Straight up, bro. Straight up.
Uncle John's got a few bucks for him.
It's bad, bro.
You have to start before they're born. We have to start little Magnus's college fund now.
I know, dude. It's
Hey, guys.
crazy.
That's something good. All right. If you are not subscribed right now and you're not getting notifications, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We have got to start a college fund for little Magnus. And the only way we're going to do that is by getting this podcast up into the top 10.
Yeah,
That's the only way we're doing it.
that's it. Even then, we still might struggle.
Yeah. If we could just see Joe Rogan at the top, that's
Yeah.
the only way that we're going to get little Magnus into college. Otherwise, he's going to the school of John and Don. And sorry, guys, but
Yeah. Oh,
anyway, man.
that was a great trigger warning, by the way, bro.
Yeah, dude. I saw these statistics and I was like, oh, this is going to trigger both Don and John.
Yeah, I'm getting heated because I've been bitching about prices all damn day. My
Yeah.
girl and her mom, I'm sure, are probably fed up with me bitching about stuff.
Dude, I bought moving boxes yesterday. It cost me $134 to buy moving boxes for my 1-bedroom apartment. $134 for boxes.
Dude,
Like, how do you even afford to move?
Okay, so and we're gonna hop back. We're gonna get into the watch list here in just a
Yes.
second, people. But I do want to say this. So when we moved here, okay, it cost us, and we didn't live that far away. It cost us $900 to move, okay, and I had friends that helped. Before we did that, I think it cost us $150 to move.
Oh, yeah. So when I moved from the East Coast to California back in 2008, I rented a Penske truck with the tow dolly because I towed my car. And I believe the rental itself cost me $975, and I think I spent another $400 in gas, which obviously crazy as well, that I only spent $400 in gas on a rental truck going the whole way across the country. So I did a quote for a Penske truck for this move just to see what it would cost me to move myself. $7,000 for just the truck
That's
to go from
insane.
Florida to Pennsylvania.
That's insane.
That's
Well,
insane.
the good thing is that they're probably all in Florida because all the fuckheads from California moved there in
Yeah.
Texas. We have tons of Penske trucks. It's just on astronomical prices.
Luckily, I found somebody to do it for less than
A little
that.
bit more
but-
affordable.
Yeah, a little bit more affordable.
A little bit more blue collar prices.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Well,
we'll get off a trigger warning. It's time
guys,
for Don's segment.
This is the watch
list.
Man, so today on the watch list, it's legacy media, bro.
AKA mainstream media.
MSN, man. Mainstream media. Yeah, man. I just want to bring this to your guys' attention. I mean, obviously, we talked about this a little bit in the beginning. We talked about social media and, you know, how everybody has these heightened emotions and how it's filled with propaganda. The legacy media is where all this derives from. And it's been deriving from that literally for the past 16 years. Literally the past 16 years. So you can look at how everything has changed since Obama became president. Okay, Obama was in office for 8 years. Trump, we had a really good turnaround in this country for 4 years economically. No new wars. I mean, I could go on forever about that.
But the legacy media got worse.
And then the legacy media got way worse. And they acted like the whole world was coming to an end, but everything was great. And that caused all types of things like BLM riots, Antifa riots. There was cities getting burnt down. The Chop City in Seattle. I mean, all types of just crazy, insane stuff. You have Democrats literally getting on the news saying, you know, if you see a Republican, punch them in the face. Make sure that they're scared of you. You know, just wild, obscene stuff like that. If you were a patriotic human being, you were called a racist every single day. They called you a Nazi, but they're the real fascists. Clearly, they're the real fascists because they're the ones trying to block freedom of speech and take away your guns. That's the first thing that fascists did. But man, everything from that, and then we could even hop into COVID, where they lied to you about COVID. They try to force this on you. It got so bad, most people lost their jobs over this. And now
people in the military were kicked out of the military.
Yes, and the military's never recovered since then.
No, and now those were just the Donald Trump years, and then now we've seen a full reversal that actually the world is crashing down around us, and everything is daisies and roses.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild, bro.
They have hidden Joe Biden's dementia.
Unless you watch Fox News or like, you know,
even Fox News, like you have said before, though, has also peddled lies and bullshit.
They have, and in case you guys don't know this, there's two brothers that own Fox. One of them is a conservative, one of them is a Democrat. So everybody's saying that Fox News is this far right wing channel. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they've never watched Fox before. There are liberals on every single one of their shows.
Every one of them.
Every single one. And you have to listen to their bullshit on every single fucking show. Okay? They're so leftist that they literally kicked off their biggest money earner, Tucker Carlson.
Well, they've continued to do that. They let Megyn Kelly walk. They let Tucker Carlson go. They let Bill O'Reilly take a hike.
Yep.
They let Glenn Beck take a hike.
Yep.
They've continued to do this, and they were the biggest purveyors of bullshit when it came to WMDs in Iraq.
Yep.
They were the biggest ones.
Yep.
Even Tucker Carlson comes out today and says that's one of his biggest regrets, is that he peddled those lies and that nonsense.
Yeah, because at that point in time, Democrats and rhinos were profiting a ton of fucking money from the war machine.
They were working hand in hand. And if you want to learn more about that, go watch our interview with John Minnelli, episode 13.
13, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
How about Jussie Smollett? Remember that?
Yeah.
He got beat up by people wearing MAGA hats. Turns out it was two black dudes that he hired to beat the shit out of him.
He paid so he could keep his job. And then remember, Kamala Harris said that he was an outstanding individual.
Even after the fact.
Even after the fact. Yep. even
How
after
about
the
Nick?
fact.
How about Nick Sandman?
Oh yeah. In case you guys don't remember, Nick Sandman, he was the guy that was being all patriotic. I think he had like an
I think it was
American
out front of the
flag.
Lincoln Memorial, right?
Yeah, and he was from Kentucky, and his class went up there, and I can't remember what it was for, what event it was for, but basically just being patriotic, just showing their patriotism.
I
Their
think they were
school
just on a
was.
field trip.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. I want to say it was Georgetown High School. I want to say, which is right around close to the area that I'm from, and and they totally lied about everything that was said and done. They only showed a quick clip of him getting basically attacked when he's like smiling in their face because he
He's an
doesn't know.
Indian guy, right?
Yep. And because he doesn't know what to do and he's getting attacked and he's just like, okay, I'm just going to smile and just like, what the fuck are these crazy people doing? And then the full videos came out. He sued CNN. He won against CNN. He MSNBC got sued, I believe, and there was another one that got sued.
I
And
think they all settled, right?
and they all settled because they all got caught lying and this kid had death threats every single day at his house. And he couldn't even like leave to go to school anymore.
Could you imagine him trying to get a job? People
Yeah.
see Nicholas Sandman on their resume.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ruin that kid's life. I mean,
High school kid.
High school kid. Yep. Yep.
How about the biggest perpetuated lie of them all, I think, because it's still being perpetuated today, is that Trump in Charlottesville called the white supremacists very fine people. Let me tell you what, people, if you have not heard that full thing and read the transcript, that is absolutely not what was said. And this is not me taking up for
You can
Trump.
watch the video.
You can watch the fucking video.
The full video. Don't watch the chopped up version from CNN because what they did is they actually chopped bits and pieces of it and then they like try to mold it together. Watch the full video.
What he said was that there were very fine people on both sides of the equation. So it was a monument they wanted to tear down. Some people wanted it torn down. Some people didn't. He said there's very fine people on both sides. And then followed it up with saying that I condemn the white supremacists completely.
Yep, that's what he said.
And Joe Biden still in the debate that he was Sleepy Joe, Poopy Pants Joe in, perpetuated that lie again. And I'm going to bet, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to bet that Kamala Harris in the next debate does the same damn thing.
I'm sure she will.
And it's a lie that was perpetuated by the mainstream legacy media.
Almost bad as, oh yeah, these riots, they're mostly peaceful.
While shit was on fire behind them. Like, do you remember those scenes of like these newscasters saying that everything was peaceful and there's buildings on fire behind them? Like, what?
It reminds me of that meme where the guy is like in the bar and he's like got a beer and the whole bar is on fire and he's like, I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's normal.
How about Hunter Biden's laptop?
Oh yeah, because
Russian disinformation.
And they would have found out, come to find out that Trump would have actually won that election because they recapped and did like a bunch of polls on it, and that would have had a 6-point swing.
Yep,
a 6-point swing. So
you know what else is causing a swing? The fact that right now, currently, 84% of the coverage on Kamala Harris is positive. 89% of the coverage on Donald Trump is negative. How do you fight against that?
Yeah, because you're fighting the machine. You're fighting propaganda because they will never show you a full Trump. Watch. Okay, if you're on the left and you're watching this is what I want you to do. You watch CNN or whatever fucking bullshit, C-SPAN, whatever fucking bullshit that you watch. Go on there. Then tell me when Trump has a speech if they play the full speech. And then if they then go and see, I guarantee you what happens is, and I've been watching this for a long time, what they'll do is they'll play a little section of it, cut, and then they'll talk about it. Or he'll start to get into some really important information, won't cut, they'll go to commercial. every single time.
And Fox News does this too. When we were
Yep.
talking about,
Fox News does it too.
Fox News does it too. But I want to tell you what, Don and I, when we share stuff on Liberty Goon social media and things like that, like, sure, we do share snippets, but 9 times out of 10, we've watched the whole thing and I already know the context of everything that was being said. You know, he and I have both said on this show multiple times that we are not here to be purveyors of misinformation, and we take a very calculated approach to make sure that what we're saying is truthful, or if we don't know, we at least say we don't know. The mainstream media, legacy media, doesn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely more trustworthy than the legacy media. I mean, well,
I don't think we've lied at all.
Well,
ever.
What we do on here, right? Even if this is a prime example. So me and John, we have went back and we took Rittenhouse off of our watch list. All right. We told you guys why we took him off the watch list. Okay. You know, we both told you during even that time period that we are still fans of Rittenhouse. I don't want to say fans as like we're like, we love the fact that he killed somebody, although he did kill some child. So I'm a fan of that. But we didn't put him on the watch list for, him being like a commie or something like that. It had nothing to do with that. It was just something ignorant that he said. But we talked to some other people. We made some decisions. We decided to take him off. He's a young kid. So we gave him the benefit of the doubt, right? And we'll tell you that we're giving you our personal opinions. But when we give out statistics or we say, hey, no, this is what's happening.
That's factual.
That's all factual on here. And the legacy media will never do that.
You know, I'll go out on a limb and I'd say there's a high probability that I will petition us to remove Tulsi Gabbard from the watch list before this election season is over.
Dude, that would be crazy. Two. I mean,
I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet. I still don't. And I'm a really far libertarian, like conservative. Like
I'm not there.
Yeah, I'm probably even more libertarian than like libertarian leaning than maybe John is.
I'm a constitutionalist more than I am a libertarian.
Yeah, well, okay.
Look up the difference between those parties if you want to know the difference. We won't get into the debate on that, but
yeah, no. I'm 100% believe in the Constitution, and I don't think anything that should change the Constitution.
No, so I'm talking about parties.
But
go look up the Constitution Party.
Yeah, which I agree with too. But I'm just saying, there's lots of things that we're never going to agree with the left at all with. We know that. We're going to tell you. We're going to tell you that because I don't think that you should be able to touch any of the Constitution at all. I don't think that the Constitution.
Children.
I don't think the Constitution should be amended. Period. It is what it is. It says exactly what it says, and hands off. And for people that don't understand the Constitution, I've said this on here several times. The Constitution is your rights, telling the government hands off your rights. Okay,
so not giving us rights.
They're not giving us rights. It's them
reaffirming our rights.
Yeah, and telling the government hands off those rights.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been chewing away at that with every single Democrat and every single rhino that's ever been put in office.
Yep. So. Yeah, it's the good thing is there's such turmoil within legacy media right now, and it's starting to break. You can even see it a little bit on CNN right now because even some of their more centrist people that they have on are kind of going, oh, this is kind of some bullshit right now.
We've seen it. We've seen it happen a couple times, which I was kind of mind blown by.
Yep. And I think the problem we're running into right now is like Brazil today just outlawed X.
Yeah.
Because they want to shut down.
They have a communist leader in Brazil, by the way. They used to have a really good president. Now it's a communist president. So
yeah, they want to. They don't agree with. How crazy is it? 2 years ago, we were talking about Twitter and how left-leaning it was and how they were moderating the wrong shit and yada, yada, yada. And now people are talking about Twitter being a purveyor of misinformation, to the other angle. if anybody thinks that Elon Musk wants to be a purveyor of information, and I'll give him credit because he has posted some stuff that was not correct before, and he's come out and said, like, my bad, like, shouldn't have done that, my bad, I was wrong. What he feels is that you should just be allowed to say whatever you want to say, as long as it's not terroristic or anything like that,
Because it's
And
freedom of speech.
yes,
Yeah.
and the things that Don and I say are not terroristic. Like we're not making. I've never threatened anybody like that in my life. Well, I wrote some nasty things on bombs in Iraq one time, but like beside the point. Beside the point. That's what we talk about. That's we're passionate about stuff, but we're not making threats to anybody. We're giving you the real information. And guess what? You know what? I hope the Liberty Goons do make it onto legacy media someday or onto a large platform someday, because that shows you how far we've come and how far we have come to accept purveyors of truth.
Yeah. And I think that legacy media is dying anyways. The problem here's the real problem. Okay, legacy media is dying, but the biggest issue that we're having isn't really legacy media spawns everything and then it gets broken down and then it gets into social media clips. Social media then decides to say, hey, we're not going to show that. For example, we had two black dudes beating up a little white girl because she wore a Trump t-shirt. Okay, this just happened.
Yep.
They blocked it. You couldn't see it. I had it posted up, and then all of a sudden they blocked it and said,
Yep.
"Oh, this is violence. We can't show this."
Yep.
Okay, but on the opposite hand, if that, and this doesn't happen, but if it was a conservative, right, doing that, guaranteed. Imagine this: if it was two conservative white dudes beating up a black girl, bro, it would be over with. It would
over.
You would see it on every single platform. I guarantee it would be in the algorithms on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever fucking weird shit that you guys use. Okay, it's never going to be that way. We are always at an uphill battle, and unfortunately, usually people that are trying to do the right thing are always at an uphill battle, and that's just how it goes. Because, I mean, evil is evil. Evil is evil, but also the one thing about evil is that, man, it brings people together so quick because, like we said on here, Democrats are so good at grouping people together. They're so good at building, think tanks massively all the time, constantly, 24/7.
Especially on evil topics.
Yes, exactly. DNC.
Yep. Whoever thought that you could get a group of people to support having abortion bans? Like, whoever thought that would ever be, even if you're pro-choice and you feel like a woman should have the choice to abort or not abort, whoever thought that as a group we could get together and support abortion bans?
Yeah, outside of a DNC rally, and then people literally getting pregnant beforehand so they can have an abortion there and then celebrating it. If that doesn't come off as evil, I think that you need your head examined.
Yeah. I mean, the legacy media stokes these fears, like, because nobody would have ever known about these abortion bans if the legacy media didn't push it too, right? Like, because how many people are really going to the DNC to see if they have a van outside? That's just not happening. The reason that got so much traction is because of the legacy media reporting that it was there and available.
Yeah, because they're pushing it. They're the ones pushing it. But like we said before, if it's anything good, for example, we just talked about this, Trump, he got asked by these 13 families, these Gold Star families, to come out there, and they wanted to share this day with them, and celebrate their children that's passed away from war. Right? That should be 100% praised on every single level. But instead of doing that, the evil has to come out. Oh, you shouldn't even have been there anyways. You should have been there. And then they flip it. And they're the greatest flippers on the entire fucking world. So now all of a sudden it was a bad thing that he was there. But then you'll never hear these family members on CNN talk about it, guaranteed, because they will never give them the spotlight. Why? Because they hate America.
Yep.
CNN hates America. C-SPAN hates America. MSNBC hates America. All the British, what is it? The British
BBC.
broadcast, yeah, BBC hates America. They will never, ever, ever show you anything in a positive light that comes great from conservative values, because they don't believe in family, they don't believe in morals, and they want complete destruction and chaos, because through that they can rule. And if they can keep ruling, well, they can keep dictating.
Yep. You know, it just disgusts me how far, and this is not legacy media, but do you have Netflix?
We got rid of it.
Yeah, so the number 2 movie on Netflix right now is a movie called Incoming, and it's about some freshman kids that are just starting high school, and it's one of those, they throw a party, yada yada. We've heard the story over and over again, right? And I'm watching this movie. I was bored. It was on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch this, and I'm watching it, and the love interests in this show, in this movie, one is one of the freshmen, and the other one is a sophomore. And they're having a conversation at a table. They both wake up like late at night or something like that, and they're having this conversation at a table, and the girl's boob falls out. And at like first, I just like watched it like anything else. Like I laughed for a second, and I was like, blah blah blah. And then I thought about it for a second. I was like, wait, this is a freshman and a sophomore, supposedly, right? Underage. And so I immediately look up the actress, because I'm like, wait a minute. Like, is this girl truly that young, right? I'm thinking in my head, like, oh my God, this is right here. And so I look it up, and the actress is not. She's like 21 or something like that. I figured that was going to be the case, but it doesn't matter, because the depiction was that you were watching a 17-year-old's, 16-year-old's boob fall out.
Well, a freshman's
in a movie.
A freshman's a 14-year-old.
The guy was 14. The guy 15. Was a freshman. She was a sophomore.
Yeah. So
she'd be 15 16
maybe tops.
Why? It's the number 2 movie on Netflix right now.
It's because they're pushing child P. That's why. And they are.
I guess I shouldn't have said that word earlier.
Yes. Yeah, we might actually have to cut
I'll bleep that out.
Yeah. But that's what they're doing. And they look, we've seen this in California. So they refuse to make child trafficking. Okay. If you guys don't know what I'm saying, S dot ends in EX. Okay. Every single Democrat voted for it not to be a felony in the state of California. Every single Democrat. And you wonder why they're pushing that stuff for? Look, communism, this is what they do, right? They implement other countries. We saw this happen in North Korea. We've seen this happen all across the entire world. The first people they go after is the child's mind, right? Because if they can get into the child and they can get into the school system, then they can change everything. That's why they're doing this on social media now. Because if they can feed you propaganda already as a child, a child's brain is very, very like
malleable.
That perfect word, malleable. And they'll take that and run with that for the rest of their lives.
AKA what TikTok does.
Exactly. And they're getting
Chinese spyware.
And they're getting this information so fast, 30-second clips, and it doesn't take that long. Then it becomes addictive. And then because of the addictive habits on social media, well, then what happens? Well, now you become a radical. And now you start to push these kids into these radical ideologies.
because
And
they think
now,
it's acceptable.
yes, and now you don't have when they grow up and you're a normal person, well now they don't look at you as normal. In the Bible it says in the last days it says that evil will be considered good and good will be considered evil.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what's happening in America right now. And man, we are crazy times that we're
And
living
the
in.
only way we, and Don and I have talked about this before, um, the only way we can push back, Don, is by doing something about it. So I encourage all of you. I did it right away because I was so mad about it. I sent an email to Netflix asking them to remove that movie from their portfolio. And the
Yep.
only way we as people can fight back against this evilness is by sticking together. So if you're watching this to this point, I ask you, and you're a Netflix subscriber, even if you're not, I highly encourage you to email Netflix and tell them that the display of a sophomore teenager's genitalia in a movie is unacceptable for you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And this is not the first time they've done this. I
No,
think you guys, you remember what it was at the little tiny girls, that the little dancer, or I don't know if they were dancers or cheerleaders or whatever they were.
I
And
remember
there
what you're talking
was,
about. Yeah,
yeah, there was so much,
sexualization.
yeah. So and I think finally they ended up pulling it down after they caught so much heat over it. But
Yeah.
these people are p does,
Yep.
and that's what they are, straight up.
Chomos.
Yeah, there you
As
go.
the in the prison language they call them chomos.
Yeah. So
Um, yeah, man, it's just so disgusting. I know we kind of got off of legacy media there, but legacy media, mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, even ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, BBC, NPR, you have been added to
the
the
watch.
watch list.
Yeah, man. I don't think there could have been much better of a watch list than that because, bro, that's whew.
Right?
I mean, it affects everybody,
It affects everybody in every facet of
and it doesn't matter
your
what age.
life.
It doesn't matter what age you are.
No, it doesn't. And you talking about the indoctrination of children at an early age, you couldn't be any more right about that. And it's sad.
Yeah, man.
In good news, what has Don Welch got going on this week?
Well, I got some good news tonight.
Got your car fixed?
My car works.
Yeah.
After $1,900 later, I got it fixed. So I had to change the starter. I had to change the ignition. Then I had to change the battery on it. And I thought, because I was like, dang, dude, I was like, I have a feeling it might be the alternator because like the lights were all turning on. So I was like, fuck, I bet it's the alternator. And it ended up not being the alternator. So I'm super thankful for that. But just got to get me to October, man. Octoberish, I get paid a little bit more money, and then unfortunately I'll be sucked into having to buy fucking inflation price Kamala Harris vehicles.
Man, I've got continuing packing for moving this week. I am 8 days away from no longer being a resident of the free state of Florida. Some tears coming.
Sad, bro. It's sad.
Spent the early part of this week up at the ranch, kind of battening down the hatches for an extended period of time away. Got some content filmed, and then got 2 fantasy football drafts that I know you don't participate in. Back-to-back days, tomorrow and Monday, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that. Are you doing anything for Labor Day at all, or are the prices priced you out?
Man, I think tomorrow we're probably gonna have a cookout with just small, very very small cookout with my girl's mom. But outside of that, it's gonna be really really small. It's too expensive to do anything major. But we're probably gonna do that tomorrow, and then Monday I'm gonna go shoot with my buddy who's a military vet,
It's been a
and
minute for you.
yeah, dude, and I'm really excited to try to get back out. My finger's getting a lot better. It's still really stiff and sore. In case you guys don't know, I tore my tendon and had to have surgery on it. So it's getting a lot better. I've been doing. I don't know if you've seen, but I was dry fire
I saw the
practicing,
dry fire videos.
and not quite as fast as I once was, but it's still a little. It's just a little sensitive, a little sore, but I'm hoping. Man, I just want to press the trigger again, bro. I just
Dude,
want to press the trigger again.
it had been a few weeks for me, and I got out and I fired that Spectre comp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it was lovely. Like it just felt so freaking good. I shot that Glock 19 with the new slide and optic on it. It's still Glock.
Does it make? I was gonna say, does it make that much of a difference though? That's what I'm curious, because it looks sick. It looks sick, and I'm not a Glock fan, but it looks sick.
So it was a pleasurable experience because I was concentrating on the optic and not the gun. I think I even said that in the video. I'm like, it's still a Glock 19, but it was fun to shoot. I didn't shoot any rifles this time at all though, which is odd for me. I'm usually pull one out, and I was in a hurry though. I was trying to get shit done. And
did you get all 5 done? By the way, he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, you got to knock out 5 of these videos." So I was like, "I don't know how you're gonna do that."
I got 4 videos done.
I mean, that's still pretty.
One day.
Pretty freaking successful, bro.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think people realize how much work that is.
That's a lot. And it was 98 degrees in north central Florida and 80% humidity, and I had to pause twice for rain. And so yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, and then that same day I went and took my travel trailer, had to load all of that stuff up, put it into storage. I did this all in the same day.
Oh my god.
It was out of control.
Did you get the land fit? Did you get your land cleared up?
No. Nope. I was still trampsing around the freaking down trees. If you guys don't know, the last hurricane tore my shit up good. You should stop over there for me and shoot. Put a little lead on steel for me over there.
I would, but I don't want to go over there and just shoot. I mean, we're gonna be there. Not next week. The next.
Can you just Can you film a video for me?
I might go over there. I'm just afraid to get shot by your neighbor or something.
Oh no, you'll be fine. He carries a 6-shooter. You'll get him first.
maybe shoot him a message like
I'll text him.
My bud Don might come down.
I'll text him.
I'll go out there and go shoot. Dude, my girl probably actually love it out there too, because it's steel and she really likes shooting steel.
Oh, can you do me a favor too? Actually, I do need you to go by there. You know what? I'm not going to tell you what the favor is on here because, yeah, I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
Shout outs this week. I want to say a huge shout out to our friend Angry Sarge. He sent Don and I these kick-ass Angry Sarge hats. If you are not following him on YouTube, Rumble, Grey Hive, and Instagram, he is at angry_Sarge. And he has merch for sale on his website too. This guy is the salt of the earth. We had him on episode 12. One of the best people that we have ever met.
Yeah, man. He's awesome, dude.
Really love that guy, and he's been so good to us. Angry Sarge, if you're watching, I have stuff that I need to send out to you too. Congratulations to our Instagram friend Todd. He won some stuff from us as well. He wins
every time, bro.
Yeah, he won a contest.
Shout out to you, Todd, if you're watching this.
Shout out to Todd. Shout out to Caleb. Caleb won a T-shirt.
Yeah, shout out to Caleb.
So watch our Instagram lives.
Yeah,
we've started to give away shit on it.
Yeah.
So
I think I actually have some extra hats and stuff from some Don Welch merch too. Maybe I'll throw that in there too. So
yeah. Shout out to us. We just dropped tonight prior to coming on. We dropped our new Liberty Goons t-shirt. Head on over to toapatriotranch.com. Click on products and Liberty Goons. It is a multicam version of our logo t-shirt. It is
gangster.
Badass. It is badass. You guys are absolutely going to love it. We would support you. All proceeds will go to help Magnus's college fund. So thank you guys so much for helping out there. And I just my normal shout outs. Shout out to TacPack. Go to tacpack.com, use the code 2APR to get yourself a $65 EDC kit for free with your first order. Also, if you head over to protectwithbear.com, this is so important as tensions ramp up and things become more volatile. You need to have self-defense coverage. Go to protectwithbear.com, use the code 2APR for a discount. It's very important. It costs you the cost of a Papa John's pizza. It's like $17 a month. And you get complete coverage to cover your legal defense costs, your bail money, your civil defense stuff, everything. Those guys are absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Century Arms for giving Don and I these t-shirts. Got Drake. You can't even see it.
Got Draco.
Really happy with everything that people have been sending us lately. So it's been great. Anybody else wants to send us shit, we love it. We'll wear it on the show.
Yeah, dude. I have to shout these people out too.
Oh yeah.
Once again, shout out Swamp Fox, bro. Holy cow. John at Swamp Fox. Hopefully we have you on here. But
with an H.
Yeah. With an H. They're
the one with the Kamala Harris tattoo on his back.
They have their little beef with their names going on. But dude, no, shout out to John, bro. Hooked me up, man. Threw a bunch of t-shirts in a bag, some stickers, threw me an optic that I am extremely excited about shooting. Monday, I'm going to throw that on something that might be behind me over here. And I'm going to test that sucker out. So I'm extremely excited about that. So I cannot thank the guys at Swamp Fox enough. Go buy all their stuff because it's phenomenal. And then also, dude, shout out to SAR. I actually posted them up a little bit, and I know people actually, I guess they bought some things already, so that was cool. And then I've been talking to Juan a lot, and Juan's the guy that's at SAR. We met him through, I guess technically met him through Angry Sarge. Through you. Yeah. Okay. One of Angry Sarge's good friends too.
Yeah, I found out that they knew each other after.
Oh wow, that's crazy. But yeah, that dude's been super cool. I just shout out to him because we're gonna get together real soon, and might see me on a commercial. So,
ooh, doggy.
I'm just saying, I might be. No, I'm a B less celebrity, bro. If it wasn't music, definitely B plus, B, B, and then we're getting B minus in the pew pew world now.
Because of Don, there are 2 shout outs that I have to do because he makes me record at the fucking latest times on fucking earth. It is midnight, right after midnight right now. So shout out to Stiff Lip Sups for the energy pouches, and also shout out to Ranch Fuel. This stuff is absolutely delicious. Get yourself some at ranchfuel.com. 0 sugar, natural caffeine, no artificial colorings. Gives you that real cowboy energy. This shit is what I have to drink because I'm old and Don makes me stay up very, very late.
Is that sugar free?
Yeah, I said 0 sugar.
It's 0 sugar? Dang,
15 calories.
I need to have that instead of drinking this trash every day.
Yeah, dude, drink this. This is blackberry
Fuel.
lemonade. This thing this is delicious.
Yeah, I need to switch it up, man.
Yeah, this stuff is great. Shout out.
Probably more healthier than these white monsters over here. I call them the blue collar monsters.
As opposed to the green monsters that only Kyle's and Chad's drink.
Yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. These are the blue collar ones. These are for the poors.
Oh my god, we are going downhill.
Oh.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for spending an hour and 34 minutes with us. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so far, please subscribe to the channel. Like this, even if you didn't like it, hit the like button. Help us out anyway.
Yeah, man.
And if you want to get notified every single time that we drop another podcast episode, hit that notification bell. Me and Don, we are the Liberty Goons, and we are
Ow!
out.